Hi, I'm Swapnil Navalkar. I look after the talent and HR transformation, the digital transformation in for JSW Group. So JSW Group, as you most of you would be knowing, is one of the largest diversified conglomerates in the country today. We are the largest manufacturers of steel, and we have business interests in energy, cement, infrastructure, paints, ventures, sports, and so many other businesses. In 2017-18, we decided to upgrade ourselves to Success Factor, and that is when we actually got into the cloud solution of SAP HCM. And once we implemented it, we found that Success Factor was not such a great solution to have at that point in time. We wanted the user interface to be extremely exciting and easy to use. We wanted it to be mobile first and data available for analytics. So all these things we were not able to get properly on that platform, and so we decided to look around. JSW as a group has adopted businesses across sectors. So we have manufacturing, which obviously is a flagship company. A steel is a flagship company. We also have businesses which are not in manufacturing. So we have the global business solutions, which is typically ITES sector. We have sports, we have ventures. These are companies which have high attrition, and of course manufacturing low attrition, and the processes are a little different. So we required a system which could actually cater to our requirements across sectors, a system which was flexible enough and which could allow us to have those tweaks in all the processes. So while the overall framework of HR remains standard across the group, the nuances at the level of implementation, there is a flexibility involved, and that had to be taken care of by the system that we were looking for at that point in time. Darwinbox ticked all the boxes and of the expectations that we had. So that's how we decided to be there. The leaves and attendance part was on SAP for us. And the problems that we faced were basically it was not mobile friendly at all. So we could not apply for leaves. I'm just taking the leaves section and the attendance regularization part, where we were not able to do it on a mobile. It had to be on the laptop. So for people, office employees, it was not much of an issue. But for the blue collared employees, whom also we covered on our HRMS, had a problem because we have not given laptops to all of them. So what they used to do was it used to be pen and paper attendance. There used to be a register maintained. Then the whole thing used to get somebody from admin department would transfer it onto an Excel sheet and upload it onto the system. The managers used to do the application of leaves and attendance regularization on behalf of their blue collared employees. So things were not really what we wanted them to be. And we wanted mobile to be first so that each and every person would have a mobile. And from the mobile, he could do whatever he or she could do all the transactions on the system. So that is something which we were really looking for. And that was solved by Darwinbox. Secondly, we had very stringent leaves and attendance rules. So building them on ACP itself had taken a lot of effort from our side. And even after about a year struggling with the implementation, we were still not confident with the time and attendance module. And we were not sure of the accuracy of the system. And that is where we then came across Darwinbox, and that is how Darwinbox has helped us in getting first of all the transactions on the mobile for our employees, and secondly building in accuracy in leaves and attendance. We had very complex requirements. So there were two things we had to do. One was to follow what Darwinbox had as a standard feature, or and change our policies, or we asked Darwinbox to introduce changes on the system which would help us achieve what we were practicing in the leaves and attendance module. The decision that we took is let's go halfway. So we said let us also change our policies a little bit. That's when I think we got introduced to a new animal, which Darwinbox fondly calls as amplify. And this amplify turned out to be a God's gift for us, because through amplify we could actually convert our requirements into reality on Darwinbox, which a normal Darwinbox without amplify was unable to give it to us. So that is something which really helped. And so we had with special leaves like maternity leave, paternity leave, we had advanced PL, we had LOP, LWP. So lots of special leaves which we wanted to work in a specific manner. And that is what Darwinbox was able to give. So all our leave rules and attendance rules we could actually encapsulate within an Amplify solution. And this is something which really brought us completely out of our earlier debacle, where we could not do anything with the earlier systems which we used. So that's, I think, a major change which we could adopt. And Amplify, we found out, was quite easy to use. So Amplify does not just cater to time and attendance requirements. It is basically a add-on flexibility tool which Darwinbox has introduced. And this tool allows you to put in your rules, your things that you want to happen in a particular process, the validations. While you're running a process, if there is an error coming up, like if you're passing, for example, you're applying for something which is beyond your limit, so the system earlier was not flashing, in some cases was not flashing that error, but here through Amplify we are able to show it. These are just small examples of what can happen with Amplify. A lot of processes have become very smooth because of Amplify. And secondly, maker checker concept has become very diluted now, because all the checking happens through Darwinbox using Amplify. One of the main challenges that we had when we set out implementing Darwinbox was the fact that we had various systems which had to be integrated with our HRMS. For example, we had the IDAM, we had the Active Directory server, we had our own approval workflowing system. We also had SAP, where we were planning to run the payroll at that point in time. These were the things. We had nearly 20 such, 26 to be very precise, systems which we had to integrate with the HRMS. So one of the first things that we asked Darwinbox and confirmed with them is whether they had open APIs through which we could actually connect with all these systems. And when we got this assurance, we actually went ahead and implemented Darwinbox, and we were pleasantly surprised that whatever integration we had in mind was we were able to fulfill it beautifully. Going forward, as we implemented systems and all, we also the requirements started increasing from our side, and we had some rules and validations which we wanted to be introduced into the system, and that is where we are today using Studio. Studio is a new tool which has got introduced by Darwinbox, and this allows me to use the standard API, but at the same time alter it, put validations, and allow only two components to go to that other system. Using Studio, we have been able to integrate, not only integrate with others, but put in a whole lot of intelligence into this integration. So the beauty of it is integrated with the reporting structure of Darwinbox. So I just have to create a report which gives me the fields which need to be integrated with the external system, and that those fields are then converted into an API by Studio, and we are able to communicate with the other system. So it's a very easy process, and we are able to do it in house, which is the beauty of it. We don't have to rely on Darwinbox technicians to help us on this. Now, recruitment is something which failed miserably for us in SuccessFactors. We were just not able to give our recruiters the ATS which they have always been asking for. And the system was not flexible at all. Now, coming go to Darwinbox, they have two modules, the onboarding and the RCM, so recruitment module. And both of these modules fit perfectly into each other. And then And so the entire end-to-end recruitment process, right from manpower planning to the time the person joins, is so beautifully orchestrated on the system that we have actually absolutely no issues at all. It's a very seamless process. And this has helped the recruiters also to be able to do some extra work. They've been able to save a lot of time in their earlier job of screening CVs and stuff like that, which happens so easily on Darwinbox. And that is, I think, one of the biggest advantage we've achieved. And today, I'm proud to say at least 80% of our recruiters are fully using the system, and every all the stages of recruitment are being used. 20% are also using the system, but they still need to mature enough to get into using all the stages. They are just uploading data in the recruitment module, which we need to get away with. So that's the adoption part which we are handling right. We also have the performance management system. I think performance management system is so even again in the previous system that we had, we did not have the flexibility of having multiple appraisal forms, and here in Darwinbox, you can have n number of appraisal forms. And I think even this process, the calibration process, is another process part of the process which actually fulfills all our requirements. Everything happens online. There is no requirement of pulling the data, the appraisal data, the ratings data from the system into the Excel and then doing the plotting of graphs and stuff like that. All that is handled by Darwinbox itself.